This is the MLW Radio Network. This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I am your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind?
Hey, man. Thank you to Al Snow for stopping by last week.
Yeah, dude.
That was a trip.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Al, shut up. Go back to the green room.
Hey, easy. We fixed the Wi-Fi.
Al, we gave you everything you wanted. God. Here, hold on. Let me get near the door here. Hold on. There we go. I'll leave him with that.
There we go. Yeah. That'll keep him busy. I'll keep you occupied.
That'll keep him happy. No, seriously, yeah. Thank you, Al Snow. It was a pleasure to spend episode 100 with you. We really appreciate your time. It was a lot of fun. I laughed so hard, dude. I think I pulled a muscle in my neck. So I am still recuperating from that. But today
that was a hint at what a car ride with Al and Meanie would be like.
I would love to just be a fly on the wall for the two of you. Like the next time you guys are together, like I want to just I'll buy the cheesesteaks if I could just sit and listen to the two of you bullshit for like an hour. Like that was fucking great, man.
Yeah. He's the best. And like I said, I don't think I'd be here without him because, so many, there's so many wrestling schools. You hear horror stories of people giving their money over to a wrestling school and showing up and the ring's gone and they don't know where their money went or the school. I made the trip to Lima, Ohio on blind faith of a woman named Phyllis Lee who I'd never met, and showed up. And thank God it turned out for the best.
Yeah. It's really cool, man. It's really cool to see the dynamic between the two of you. It was a lot of fun. I was happy to be the third wheel in that Oreo sandwich you guys had last week. Don't forget to go.
The Lucky Pierre.
What's that?
The Lucky Pierre and an Al Snow Blue Meanie man sandwich.
That's right. Man sandwich is correct. And at the top of the program, don't forget to use our new promo code MindMeanie for 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. But today is a special episode today. Today is a complete and full Ask Meanie. So, Meanie, would you like to ask Meanie?
I would love to. It's time to ask Meanie anything. Ask me something.
I can't remember what regular air smells like.
And don't forget, every week... I gotta say this at the top of the program too. I gotta let you know. Meanie and I the other day, I was talking to our engineer, Carl Pannell, and Carl just cannot get over the farts that come out of Meanie when he listens and he records the show. So he's actually taking one of Meanie's farts from one of the episodes that he engineered for us, and he's gonna use it as a bass line in one of his beats because Carl does all kinds of fantastic beats. He plays almost every instrument, and he's going to use it for the bass line. And I thought Meanie was laughing so hard, I thought he peed himself. And I can't wait to hear the kind of musical just accompaniment that comes along with a Blue Meanie fart. So,
well, they say beans, the musical fruit.
The more
now it's literally. I think I might have recorded a new one.
Oh man. Here we go. We got breaking news.
It's because of you. I've got a fucking voice recorder in my phone.
Attaboy.
Of course, this is going to make a liar out of me.
Way to go, pal.
Yeah. Let me turn the volume up. Turn up the volume, Grandpa. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Bring it up to the phone.
What the hell, man? Good God. It sounds like you sat on fireworks.
Alexander Graham Bell is rolling over in his fucking grave. That his invention. Yeah.
You put that on Al Gore's internet, sir. How dare you?
In the good name of Al Gore. How dare you, sir?
Al Gore's internet.
Fucking, I just got charged extra for his bandwidth.
Oh my God, dude. Holy shit. Well, we asked you guys to ask Meanie anything you'd like to this week. So we are going to go through and ask some of the questions. Also, shout out to the Pod Squad who's here with us again today. We love you all so much. If you want to watch us record this episode and get surprises like Al Snow coming out of the green room, go to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie and join us today in the Pod Squad. Lots of cool shit, lots of stuff to look forward to. So we're going to start in the Pod Squad today.
I'm excited. I like doing these Ask Meanies, all Ask Meanies.
These are a lot of fun here. So I'm going to start here. Vanessa Bello from the Pod Squad wants to know, Meanie, what are your thoughts on Cody and Cody Rhodes leaving AEW?
Man, who saw that one coming on your 2022 bingo card? You know what? And this goes back to, I mean, I wish I would have thought to talk to Al about this, because go on YouTube, look up Al Snow talks about Cody Rhodes. And Al laid this out perfectly, a couple years ago, whenever this was filmed. Al said, you can always go back.
Yeah.
No matter, the question was talking about Cody Rhodes leaving WWE. And Al said, and Al had a hand in training Cody. And, Al's like, sometimes people get afraid of, leaving. But, if business is right and done right, you can always go back. Vince will always take you back. And granted, I don't know if they're going back to WWE. I don't know what they're doing. But the fact that they left AEW, which nobody saw that coming, because they helped create AEW. AEW was, born off this German idea of can an independent show draw over 10,000 people? And Cody and the Bucks and Omega, all did that on their own dime, off their own, hard work, and All Out. I'm confused. Is it All Out? No, that was All Out. And then
was it All In, the big pay-per-view they did, right? Was that the very first one?
I think the first one was All Out, or no, All In.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. Because then AEW took on the concept and made it All
In or All Out.
Or something like that. Yeah. I'm out. But yeah, who would have thought to see that coming? And AEW is going to be fine. And that's no slight against Cody or Brandy, but because AEW has a good support system in place, but that support system might not be in place if it had not been for Cody and the Bucks, getting together and say, hey, let's make an alternative, and a fine alternative they've made with AEW, but it goes to show that hey. Wrestling is a business. First and foremost, it is an art. There is pro wrestling is an art, but unfortunately, there's this side where you have to talk money and all that stuff, which I hate. Like people go, "Oh, you want to work for me? Sure. What do you ask for? Oh man, just make me a fucking offer and let's work from there." But it's good for wrestling. Cody leaving AEW is good for wrestling because it creates excitement, and you can start fantasy booking. There's a good part where people are fantasy booking of like who's going to go to AEW. And it seems like AEW's acquired so much great talent, but and you do the fantasy booking, But, the last, dream scenario was Punk and MJF. Talk about, mega promos, between those two. But now, Cody possibly going to, would I love to see Cody in WWE? Absolutely. It's WrestleMania season.
Right.
But shit, I'd love to see Cody do something with the NWA. With his father's legacy with holding the NWA belt. Yeah, he's been champion. But a 2-time NWA champion or whatever. Cody can, the world is his oyster right now. He can just do whatever he wants. Could he help Ring of Honor on the relaunch? Absolutely. Bring some, because everybody's like, Ring of Honor's not coming back. But hey, Cody Rhodes shows up and, on the relaunch, that would be a huge boost for business. That would be good business,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but you can start fantasy booking, hey, Cody versus Miz or Cody versus Roman, just there's so many variables, and it's all very exciting, and the fans are going to be the winners. I mean, Cody's going to be a winner too because he's about to get paid.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man.
Well, that's the thing now. That's what's good about AEW. It creates an alternative where guys can ask for more money, or you know what? There's this other thing I can go to, and AEW's right there neck and neck with in WWE as far as being able to pay people. You know, there was this conversation on I listen to sports talk radio all the time, 94 WIP. Shout out to Johnny Marks and Ike Reese. And they were talking about, because the USFL's coming back. And back in the day, the USFL was a legit threat to the NFL because that USFL was run by a bunch of millionaires. And they were brazen, they were ballsy. They went into the NFL draft and drafted Reggie White, drafted Jim Kelly. They started, plucking all these star, football players that, the NFL wanted, but they were able to pay them more to not go to the NFL, in a lot of ways, and the USFL had their own demise because, they went from being a spring league to trying to be in a winter league, and they self-destructed, but they were a threat because they could afford to pay people to not go to NFL. Now AEW's given that option to afford to pay people, to be an alternative to WWE.
Yeah.
And, that's good business when you can, give people an option. That's the worst thing that's happened to wrestling is when WCW went out of business.
Agreed. Agreed.
And Vince has admitted that. Vince said, one of his, I don't know if he said it publicly, but I know people who've heard him say this privately. One of his biggest regrets was buying WCW because he basically eliminated any competition.
Yeah,
but he wanted the tape library. So
yeah, you got to take what you can get there. I think one of the questions as a follow up to Vanessa's question here about Cody. There's been some talk. Friend of the show, Alfred Cunningham from Forbes.com ran a piece the other day about basically saying like Tony Khan kind of learned a really hard lesson here about having handshake deals, and maybe he shouldn't let MJF negotiate live on television with the competition. How do you feel about that? How does that, as far as like with your business acumen and being in the industry, do you think that Tony Khan learned a hard lesson about not having a contract with Cody Rhodes? And if he does show up in WWE, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh man. I don't know. I don't know did he have a contract and did they expire? I don't know the details.
So he had a contract. And it expired. And so Cody, I believe, if I recall from Alfred's report, was like he was on a 2-month handshake agreement. So there wasn't anything actually signed. So Cody could have essentially shown up at any promotion at any time and not been in violation of any AEW contract. But they didn't renegotiate. I don't know. I believe the conversation and obviously the rumor and innuendo you have to sort of take with a grain of salt. But the conversation was that there was, negotiation that was happening and this, that, and the other. And they couldn't come to terms on a new contract. So he ended up leaving. But again, if you believe the dirt sheets, he had issues with the Bucks and Kenny Omega and some of the creative things that were happening there. So there's a lot of information. But as far as to Alfred's point, do you think that Tony Khan learned, if it full disclosure, Inside Baseball, we are recording this prior to the Elimination Chamber event in Saudi Arabia, which it is very possible that Cody Rhodes shows up at. Do you think that, this would be a lesson to Tony Khan about something, maybe getting people under contract faster? What do you think?
Well, it would be a lesson to learn when a contract is due. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot like baseball or football, performers like to get their deals, renewed before they go into that contract year. You always hear about, this quarterback's going into his contract year. This pitcher's going into a contract year. This head coach is going to a contract year where you'd like to get, renewed, extended, so there isn't this question looming over you of how's he going to perform in his contract year or whatever. And sometimes you can overperform, and then the owner's kind of screwed because now you got to overpay the guy to stay a little bit, or the performer can underperform and kind of screws himself. Where they were like, well, you really didn't do too good in that contract year. And Tony being an NFL owner owning the Jaguars, I would hope he would know that you kind of have to look into these contracts and go, hey, so-and-so's due. Let's try to get him at his market value now and extend them. Where if somebody's overperforming, okay, here's a little bit extra cheese on your pizza. Here's some extra sprinklings on your sundae. Here's a little hair tussle, and here's a little attaboy. Good job. Or, hey man, you kind of shit the bed this year. I'll still pay you the same, but and that's what's kind of surprising. Tony owns an NFL team where they deal with these contracts all the time. So, did he learn a lesson? Who knows? I'm hoping, Cody. It's you said 2-month handshake deal. Mm-hmm. Hopefully he honors that 2 months.
Oh, it already happened.
It did.
It's already happened. Yeah.
Then play ball. Just fair game. Hopefully he sits there and he weighs his options. I'm thinking WWE.
Yeah.
They need names for. They normally you need a building big enough to support the event, but now they have a building so big they need people to draw people to. So it's like the reverse.
Do you think that? I mean, and I guess this is Adam from Downingtown asking. Do you think that WrestleMania is going to be like a big wet fart this year? Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like they really have a clear picture yet. I don't know if it's going to be clearer after Elimination Chamber, but
all right.
I don't know. I mean, besides Brock and Roman, there isn't really a clear build to anything, and we're getting kind of close. Usually they start building this stuff like immediately following Mania, or the Rumble, rather.
Well, there's also the rumor that they're trying to talk Steve Austin into doing one more match, which, Steve's been adamant about, like, okay, I have one more match, and then what? There's always, and then what? The way Steve retired was pretty special.
Yeah,
I mean, it was scary, because he was having neck issues, and leading up to that match with The Rock, they weren't sure that he was going to be able to go out there because he had to rush to the hospital like the day before. But does he want to, as the song goes, leave the memories alone? Leave it to what it was, or does he want to come back? And if he does come back, I mean, the money matches with Brock.
Right. The question then becomes, can he perform with Brock? Right? Because he's... Well,
out of everybody on that roster that he could perform with, I am 100% confident he could perform a Brock. Just because of the formula to Brock's matches.
Right.
You know,
quick,
you know,
easy, in and out, like a Goldberg style. Lots of smashing.
What he does is, Brock's match, somebody gets hit with something big in the beginning and they're automatically on the sell and working their way back up. Whether it's Brock getting hit with the big thing or his opponent getting hit with the big thing. But you never know. And the thing, like, I mean, fuck, that one Cena match where he basically squashed Cena for like 11 minutes with the suplexes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You never, which was good business.
Yeah.
Because how often do you see that happen? It's the element of, okay, I've never seen that happen, You don't want the element of, okay, here comes the big boot, here comes the leg drop, here comes the finger,
Hogan must pose.
No. Yeah, Hogan must pose. With Brock, you don't know where it's going to go. Fucking Goldberg just beat him in a couple minutes. And now, Brock does good business because he understands it, so out of anybody on that, and people are assuming it might be Kevin Owens because Kevin Owens, last week, again, we're taping this, as a bonus episode, because I'll be out of town next week, so that we did this Ask Meanie. So if anything happens in the meantime, and we're talking about something that,
go ahead and
whatever,
tweet it.
But,
go tweet it at So Says Sharnoff.
Yeah, give him the shit. But they're apparently Kevin Owens was saying something about Texas. So they don't know if he's going to keep talking about Texas, and then you hear the broken glass. Maybe these are just Easter eggs, leading up to hopefully Steve coming back, or it might not lead to nothing if, Steve says nah. But, and this isn't a slight to Kevin Owens, but Steve and Brock is the money match.
Yeah. Or
Steve Brock was supposed to happen, and that's when they wanted Brock and Austin to have a qualifying match for the King of the Ring on Monday Night Raw, and Steve said, "Hey, you're just willing to give this match away for free on TV and not build to a pay-per-view." It's 20 years later, dude. This is the money match, the dream match that you can only play in the 2K games.
Yeah.
Or happening in real life in Texas, Steve's home state.
The only other thing I could think about that would draw the nostalgia money would be Austin and Goldberg. Because Goldberg is saying Goldberg's contract is up. This is his last match in Saudi Arabia, according to what he's been saying.
Yeah.
I don't know, though, man. I don't know. I feel like Brock would be the right choice, though, to go back on that historical.
Brock's the right choice because he's still active.
Right. But for the purposes of masking Steve's injury, though, right? Like his what's the word? Not deficiencies, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? Like he hasn't been in the ring in 20 years. Goldberg's his entire premises go in, spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3, we're out, everybody's happy, right? Like it's a short, quick thing, and if that's what they're trying to get, if that's all they can get out of Steve Austin, then
Well, Steve ain't coming back to get fucking speared or jackhammered.
Well, no, but you understand what I'm trying to say, like the concept behind it, right? Like if he is limited to a specific set, maybe that's the way to go. But I don't know, man. I'm curious.
No. I mean, everybody back in the heyday, maybe, but not now. Nah,
no.
It would have to be Brock. It would have to be. You got to fill a stadium too.
Yeah.
So, but and it's not like Brock or Steve are doing the Malenko Guerrero Classic where they're doing hold counter hold. It's punch and throw you through some shit. Swinging some fucking chairs, swinging some beers and stuff like that.
Well, and people also have to be understanding and realistic about the limitations, right? Like they have to be understanding. Like it's not going to be a fucking 12-star match at the Tokyo Dome, right? We're talking about a guy who hasn't been in the ring for 20 years going up against a guy who literally just breaks people, right? Like be understanding and realistic of what we're getting here and just be glad that this is even happening at all. Like just fucking be happy.
Well, that's the thing, Brock is still wrestling And Steve is still in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
You watch Steve do the Stone Cold sessions. As he's answering the question, you can see the vein bulging out of his biceps. Jesus. Matt Cardona's like to say he's always ready, but Steve looks always ready as well. He's jacked. I've seen Steve work out in the gym, and it's like, Jesus Christ, man. His warm up is my complete workout. God damn. But as far as money matches, that's the money match. That's got to be the money. And if it's Kevin Owens, fine, cool, because Kevin's been doing the stunner and stuff like that. But dream match, money match, Austin Brock.
Speaking of Austin, Hoover had asked, I was an Attitude Era fan, but I can't remember. Were you ever the recipient of a Stone Cold Stunner or a Rock Bottom? Any good stories with interacting with either Austin or Rock? Or were the metaphorical seniors not mingling with the freshmen? Also, thank you for representing my body size on television.
Unfortunately, I never received a stunner or a rock bottom. But Rock and Austin were awesome. You would never know they were of their stature because they were one of the boys. They were just hanging out. Especially, Steve was familiar with me from ECW. And he was just like a good one of the, like I say, Austin and Rock are good brothers. They're good guys. Steve would always, we'd always talk about like metal, talk about music, stuff like that. And he'd always be around. He wouldn't be hidden away. He'd be out there amongst the boys. One of my favorite things is like he would be standing there talking to somebody. And him and D'Lo had this thing. D'Lo Brown would walk over and nuzzle his chin on Steve's shoulder, and like Steve would like give him the side eye look and like, and then out of nowhere, they do a mock stunner in the hallway.
Oh, that's great.
To the point where it became like more and more elaborate. Yeah, they would figure out, D'Lo with a shift from the left shoulder to the right shoulder back to the left, and just and then Steve would go boom, that was Steve, The Rock, always approachable, always talking. Like I said, we were in, not to toot my own horn, but it's not every day you get to pitch an idea to The Rock and he uses it on fucking Raw. I want to say it was either the Cincinnati Gardens. I think it was the Cincinnati Gardens. It's one of the buildings with the Gardens because there's Cincinnati Gardens, Louisville Gardens, but I would say Cincinnati Gardens. And they have a television locker room, which they film all the fucking, stuff. But they also have the monitors there. You can watch the live feed. You can watch what the truck is seeing, Mm-hmm. You can hear like the interaction between the announcers on, in commercial breaks and shit like that. But I'm sitting in there, Rock is in there, and Ventruso was in there. And Rock was doing something with Kane. And Kane had the voice box,
Oh, yeah.
Kane.
Yeah.
And the popular at the time, Dennis Leary had the No Cure for Cancer CD, which is basically him doing Bill Hicks's real hits because Dennis Leary isn't a funny human being. He stole all his jokes from Bill Hicks. I just had to get that in there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was making sure you were gonna bring that in. So
YouTube it. Bill Hicks versus Dennis Leary, and you see Bill Hicks's joke, and then you see Dennis Leary do the exact same joke, except he does a whole hour of Bill Hicks jokes. Anyway, he did this bit where, he's like, imagine, going, somebody with a voice box going through the McDonald's drive-thru. Hi, I like a cheeseburger. What are you making fun of me? No, I'm not making fun of you. You're making fun of me. So I said, the Rock, I was like, why don't you go out there and go, do the fake voice box and go, my name is Kane. I'm a Rudy Poo candy ass. And he kind of like, popped. And I look up at Russo, and Russo's chewing on his gum, he giving the head nod, like, yeah, that's a good idea. Fucking lo and behold, they went out there and he fucking did it.
Wow.
And he didn't have to do that, my one claim to fame, the Rock did one of my, behind the scenes, Rock did an idea I gave him for a fucking promo.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
man.
Rock and Austin, fucking amazing. I had this inside joke I used to do, after a show, we'd go out to was it Longhorn Steakhouse or whatever eating establishment. I was bored. And you try and figure out fun things to do on the road. So I started doing this thing where I would get name tags from that restaurant, but to say Meanie. Hey, I'm a professional wrestler. I'm just in town. I have this thing I do. I've been traveling. I get name tags with my wrestling name on it from the establishment. So I would show up the next day at the building with a name tag, Pizza Hut. It says Meanie. Sorry, guys. Working late over at Pizza Hut. And the boys would pop. So we're over in England. It was the tour after WrestleMania 15. And there was a Pizza Hut there. And I guess me and Al went there. And for whatever reason, I think it's the name tag. But I show up to the building and Rock goes, Meanie, I was at the fucking pizza. I almost got you a name tag. But sorry, I forgot. And I was like, what? Excuse me? He's like, yeah, I was over there. I was thinking about getting a name tag and it slipped my mind. And I was like, that's fucking awesome. But dude, I love Steve Austin. We text every now and then, holidays and stuff like that, or we talk about metal or whatever. And The Rock's been kind enough to interact on social media, and stuff like that. Busy fucking guy, to say the least.
Sure. I'm sure.
Yeah. But down to earth people, they are the same person, they were coming up as they are now. They're the same person now as they were coming up because they paid fucking dues, Yeah, The Rock, was born into the business, through his grandparents. I mean, he was in diapers when he was in a wrestling ring, People think he was Rocky Maivia. No, he was around longer than that.
Right. He was doing back before he was Rocky Maivia. Right.
Yeah, and when his family was traveling from town to town, not paying, struggling, he struggled with them. So he knows the value of $1. Steve Austin, was working, driving forklifts and wrestling and eating raw potatoes because he couldn't afford a meal. He knows the value of $1.
Right.
And those two folks, it's amazing that they came up, they had their run together in WWE at the same time and rose up through the ranks and had that rivalry because they are the yin and yang to each other. They were perfect place, perfect time for two guys to have an epic feud. And might I say, Triple H and Rock had an epic feud too. They kind of came up the ladder together through the Attitude Era. But those Rock and Stone Cold feuds were pardon the pun, electric. It was something you could technically feel when I was in those buildings watching through the curtain. I was blessed to be in WWE during that time because I could look through the curtain and watch. It was like Murderer's Row. Every match on the show was fantastic. And this to be able to share a building with The Rock and Austin during that time, during the hottest time.
Yeah.
I talked to guys who, worked WWE during Hogan era. I talked to guys and they worked all the way through the Austin era. And they said those the Austin era was a little bit more fun because they made a little bit more money in the Austin era.
Yeah.
Austin, Rock, Triple H. That was like a Murderer's Row.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're carved for stars. People who knew to get over. They weren't tarping off the top row of the building. Every seat was fucking sold. So
I know that you said, about making money with Brock Lesnar saying that. It's about, getting asses in seats, right? And making sure you're
That was the perfect interview.
making money.
Please.
Yeah. Go ahead and check it out.
Please.
Check out that Pat McAfee interview. Go out of your way to see it because it was fucking great. But I do have some exciting news from our friends at Manscaped.
Yeah.
And talk about saving money. They just launched their 4th generation performance package. It's the ultimate package, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Manscaped, the leaders in male grooming, have done it again to make your grooming game next level. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the new Performance Package 4.0 by going to manscaped.com right now for 20% off plus free shipping by using our new promo code MindMeanie. That's right, a new promo code for a new year. Hopefully, we're almost out of this COVID shit, and what better way to get out of it than making Little John and the East Side Boys look fantastic. The Performance Package 4.0 by Manscaped has arrived, and it is worth the wait. Inside, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ears and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies, not your balls, fellas, because they're inside the boxer briefs. Meaning, tell me more, man. Tell me more about how Manscaped has helped you keep you from looking like a button in a fur coat.
The good folks at Manscaped, who are kind enough to support us each and every week, have helped me look good, smell good. They give me the 2-in-1 shampoo conditioner. They gave me the body wash, the ear and nose trimmer. Dude, I'm getting to that age now where if I sneeze, my nose looks like a party favor. It's not pretty. But thanks to, Manscaped, I could trim those nose hairs. I could trim those ear hairs. I can put on the body wash and smell good. I can, they give you the spray for the feet, the green tea spray, which, all the years of doing meanie salts and cramming my feet, hitting the canvas, laying down, doing those jobs, taking those bumps. My feet have seen and done it all. So, end of the day, I take a nice hot shower, wash down with the Manscaped body wash, wash my hair with the shampoo. I spray my feet, go to bed, and I feel complete thanks to Manscaped.
And as Meanie said, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, I am also getting up there in years right now, and the nose hairs keep getting longer, as do the hair on my nuts, but don't worry, that's what Manscaped is here for. You want to take your grooming game to the next level. The Performance Package 4.0 has the Lawnmower 4.0. It has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multifunction on and off switch that can engage a travel lock, and so to not give you any weird happenstances at the airport, and gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when you need a more precise shave. And it is also waterproof, so you can shave your nuts in the shower. You thought that was good? The Performance Package also has the Weed Whacker we mentioned. It also has the Crop Preserver ball deodorant before you leave the house, and the Crop Reviver ball toner for a mid-game ball check. Trust me when I tell you guys, your balls will be thanking you. Make sure, don't lose your head like Al Snow did. Use Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com right now and get 20% off plus free shipping by using the promo code MindMeanie at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code MindMeanie at manscaped.com. Your balls have been through enough the past 2 years. Treat them with the best tools from the job at Manscaped. And Meanie, I got Vanessa's line in there this time about Al Snow's head.
She is an award-winning read writer.
Absolutely.
Like, Manscaped should hire Vanessa.
I love it.
Because you'll be doing a read, I'll look in the room and I'll read her line. I'll be like, yeah, that's a good one.
Popped me on that one, as the wrestling industry would say, right? Did I say that right? Did I use that phrase right?
What's that?
That I popped? It popped me? Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't want to sound like a schmuck.
Even though people use the term popped, but it's kind of, it's so far gone. You can say, yeah, it popped me,
I just got word that my Twitter account was denied for verification again. So anybody has any tips on that, you can let me know. Let's get back to the mind of the Meanie here.
Yes.
What were you going to say, Meanie?
No, I don't even know how I just woke up one morning and I was verified. I was like, how the fuck did that happen?
Yeah. I don't know. Now I got to wait another 30 days to try to figure it out. But if anybody has any tips or knows anybody, then Twitter, let me know.
I'm trying to get verified on Instagram. That's my white whale, trying to get verified on Instagram. I don't know how to do that.
I think there's a method to do it. I'll have to show you in the settings. I can walk you through.
Yeah, you guys send your like driver's license and like a couple articles about yourself, which I did.
And they still didn't do it. Interesting. I'll have to give it a shot. I'll have to look at it. Yeah. Mark in Dryden wants to know, it's been said that Ricky Morton was one of, if not the best sellers of all time. Who else is the best at selling their opponent's offense?
Oh, dude. You know, if I tell every young wrestler, if you're going to sell, watch Ricky Morton and then watch Ricky Steamboat. 2 Ricks. You know, one of the best bumpers in the business is Billy Gunn, though. If you want to learn how to bump, watch Bump and Feed. Watch Attitude Era Billy Gunn. Because I forget how big Billy Gunn is. Billy Gunn is a huge man.
Yes.
But he bumped like a cruiserweight. He could bump, get it right back up, bump, feed, best bumper in the business. But, selling emotion, selling facials, and Ricky Steamboat, Ricky Morton. I've seen, I shouldn't say I've heard stories of like women just passing out and from crying at Ricky Morton selling. He would just look at somebody in the front row and go, "Help me," put the hand out, like, "Help me." And women would just be, people, grown adults would just start crying in the stands. It's just all about selling. Is just if you're on TV, find the camera.
Yeah.
Your face is your moneymaker, and find the camera, sell to the camera. And if there's, no camera, sell, lean over to the second rope, and just looks at somebody in the crowd and just thinking the worst thing you could probably think of, and it'll just show on your face. The secret to telling a promo or reacting to a promo is talking without moving your mouth,
Yeah.
If somebody says something to you, you go, "Oh, really?" How would you normally say, "Oh, really?" You go, "Oh, really?" Right? But you do that without actually saying the words. So like reacting and stuff like that. So you're just not standing there like a stage actor waiting for somebody else to complete their lines before you speak because you don't want to distract.
Right.
But that's the best way to react. Best way to sell. Like if somebody punches you and you want to say, "Oh my God," say, "Oh my God," without saying, "Oh my God," but your face will say it. That's one of the secrets I've always been taught.
Andrew Bailey wants to know, Meanie, in just the short time that you spent in AEW, were you able to get a feel of the locker room or any vibes, either good or bad?
It was a great vibe. It was it had that ECW feel, but without all the shenanigans of extracurriculars. No, everybody was happy. I don't know, maybe because I was a guest, but everybody was welcoming. Everybody was happy. Everybody was sitting around, chumming it up. That's not a bad thing. It's just a very cordial atmosphere. Everybody. When I wasn't, I did my deal. I went back and Samuel Guevara is like, "Hey, you want to be on my blog or my vlog?" I was on the Young Bucks vlog. They just everybody's doing something. Everybody's being creative. Whether it's in the ring, behind the scenes, doing promos, doing their vlogs, and making themselves more valuable, so to speak. But they're coming back to Philly too, so hopefully there's another invite. But we'll see. The last one was a little bit of a surprise, so it'd be nice to do something, either in the ring or maybe a guest commentator, or so to speak, for dark or hell, I made my bones on Shotgun Saturday Night, and I can do AEW Dark.
Let me see where we're at here. Andy Schlichter wants to know, Meanie, what are your comments on the run that Matt Cardona has been on?
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. And that's the thing, you know. Matt has always known how to get over. You know, WWE Creative had nothing for him. So he started the true Long Island stories, Ice East stories or whatever. And then once he started getting over with that, WWE tried to put their fingerprints on it and got involved and, ruined it to the point where he was like, I don't want to do it anymore. But then he got in storylines and he was always doing something to get over to the point where, Steve Austin's, posted a photo wearing his headband with the Long Island hair, and stuff. He always knew how to get over. And talk about a guy who turned a passion into not just wrestling, but with the toys, with the figures. He turned that into a career avenue, a revenue stream with doing the toy podcast with Brian Meyer, him and Brian. Mm-hmm. Brian's doing fantastic as well.
Yeah.
They created their own world, and there's a lot of people who enjoy being in their world.
Yeah.
But everything he's doing with he had a run in AEW. He's in Impact. He's NWA World Champion now. Which talk about I feel like I'm repeating myself where I'm trying to use the same catchphrase, but talk about somebody who looks like they were made to wear a belt. That NWA belt looks great.
Yeah.
On Matt Cardona. Not only to mention that, he can win the belt in Retromania Wrestling, because the NWA belt's in the Retromania Wrestling video game. But the guy's always got a great mind for being topical. I have a friend who's smart to the business and knows, he's like, man, that fucking Matt Cardona. And he's talking about Matt as if Matt's really like that. I was like, dude, he's just working the shtick, man.
Yeah. He's just working.
I'm not trying to, ruin Christmas for you and telling you Santa Claus is work, but Matt's just working, and he's like, oh, all right. He had my buddy who's like pretty, savvy, convinced, and he's like, Matt'll say something on Twitter and it'll just totally pop me. He's like, oh, this guy doesn't even have, how to, this guy doesn't even have an action figure, or he'll say something and it'll just fucking pop me, He said something last night about like a ugly, somebody was trying to troll me. He's like, look at this ugly troll with a tiny wiener. And I'm just like, who says wiener? Matt Cardona says wiener, and it's fucking great. Somebody was heckling me. He's like, I found out this guy had a book on Amazon, so I went and left him a shitty review. He's like, don't fuck with me, pal. And he posted screenshots of the 1-star review he left on the guy. It's like,
oh man,
fucking brilliant.
Dude.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, dude, that was something. Watching him do that, I was like, man, you're just like destroying this guy right now. So good.
I always tell young guys, you get in the business.
Yeah.
You're in the wrestling business, but you are your own business.
Right.
And Matt Cardona's made the template for how to be your own business. In the business.
What else do we have going on right now? Let me see what's happening in the Pod Squad. I think we have time for just about another question here.
Wow.
Yeah,
time flew by.
It really did, man. It really did. I love these, man. I love how you are able to just extrapolate too. I really dig that.
Because there's so many in my world, everything's relatable.
Right.
I can see something that happens in another organization or another line of entertainment. And I go, I totally get it. I understand. I get it. And I like to, try to paint that picture, for other people. I was talking to somebody in the music industry the other night, and I was like, wrestling, music, and stand-up comedy are pretty much the same fucking business. You're traveling, you're entertaining, and trying not to get screwed over by a promoter.
Let's see. We got one more right here. Let me just take a look. I missed it. Where it's at. Let's take a look.
Where it's at.
Where
I got two turntables on a microphone. Where it's at.
So let's end with a non-wrestling question. Andy Schlichter asks,
Sure.
Meanie, what are your thoughts on the Sixers with Joel Embiid and James Harden?
Holy shit. Again, we're recording this before James Harden has taken the court for the Sixers. We're about to go into All-Star Weekend, which James Harden's probably going to start playing after that. But holy shit. There's very few things that get me excited. Like the way I got excited, like when the Phillies got Bryce Harper, I got that excited.
Yeah. Totally.
And before that, it might have been when the Eagles got T.O.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that, whoo, yeah. Holy shit. That you get that feeling in the bottom of your belly. You're just like, ooh, that's going to be, oh my God, that's great. And, there was always talks of, I guess the falling out between the Sixers and Ben Simmons was when there was reports that the Sixers were looking to trade Ben Simmons to Houston for Harden. So, when the Sixers, got eliminated in the playoffs from Atlanta, there was this one play where, the coach kind of screwed it up. The Sixers coach, Doc Rivers, is unfortunately, known for blowing 3-1 leads in playoffs. Or the Sixers had a 28-point lead, over the Atlanta Falcons and fucking blew that.
Yeah.
But it was the cherry on top of that whole thing was just how Ben Simmons disappears when the bright lights are on. And there's plenty of times, and the fact that he's an NBA player who doesn't know how to shoot a basketball.
Yeah.
To the point where other teams intentionally foul him. They make him go to the line because they know he won't score those 2 points, and they get the ball and then they go and score. And that's a good way, how, the Sixers, were losing games because they knew, we'll just foul Ben and he'll miss his shots and we'll rebound the ball and we'll go score.
Right.
So that was, and then there in the Atlanta series, Ben Simmons grabbed the ball, rebounded the ball. He was underneath the hoop. Nobody was within 5 feet of him. All he had to do was just jump up and dunk the ball. And what did he do? He passed it.
Yep.
And it didn't help that people were posting footage of his teammates reacting to him passing the ball. Like, dude, you just had to jump up and put it in the basket.
That's literally all you had to do. Yeah.
So Ben shrinking when the spotlight was on him, coddled with, there was talks, Worley from the GM of the Sixers talking about trying to get Harden from Houston here. Harden goes to the Nets, Brooklyn Nets. I want to call them New Jersey Nets because they used to be New Jersey Nets, but goes to the Brooklyn Nets, and Harden still wants to come here, and Ben refuses to show up to training camp. He refuses to play games, and he claims mental illness, which is an insult to anybody who's legit suffered from mental illness, to use that as an excuse not to play.
Right, to actually show up. Yeah.
Yeah. He got traded, and he looks fine now. He looks like he was cured,
Which is crazy.
So
it's just like, come on, man. Come on.
It's disgraceful. But, just the idea of Harden with Embiid, and I'm a big fan of Maxey and Thibault on the Sixers. They got a good young squad. Now, whatever they do this year, if Harden's here again next year, he's got the option for next year. If they can entice another person to come in, to complete the package, they could go on a run.
Yeah.
While Embiid's still healthy, because Embiid's playing out of his fucking mind. The last couple of years he had health issues, but he should be the MVP for this year.
Right.
No doubt. But
Absolutely.
if the last time the Sixers won anything, I was in third grade in 1983.
Wow.
So they had a shot in 2001, or 2000 with 2001 with Iverson. That fucking run.
Oh, I remember that. Who were they against in the series? Was that the Lakers?
The Lakers,
Wow.
Kobe and Shaq. Jesus Christ,
Man,
And it sucks that they lose Kobe because Kobe's a Philly boy,
Yeah.
But, it's a business. So, Kobe's about doing business. He ain't going to put the hometown team over,
No.
But, man, if they go on the run, look, I've been fortunate enough to see the Phillies win the World Series in 2008. Eagles won the Super Bowl 2017. We came close with the Flyers in 2010, 2011, whatever it was. But if those Sixers win the championship in Philly and they have a parade in the summertime when it's warm out, I know the party that we had, in the winter with, the people. If something good happens in Philly, we're going to Broad Street because that's the main strip. Broad Street in the summer, if the Sixers win the championship, will be insane.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. I'm very excited to see what happens with James Harden. I'm looking forward to hopefully another Philadelphia
The fucking
win,
beard,
but-
man. Yeah.
What's that?
That fucking beard, man.
Oh, God, dude.
It was like an hour or hour and a half after the news came out, there was electronic billboard on 95 saying, the beard is here.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit.
It's so good, man.
Yeah.
Meanie, it is so good to see you and to spend this time with you as often as possible. I appreciate you doing this Ask Meanie with us today, with the Pod Squad and our friends. But Meanie.
Love the Pod Squad.
Meanie, where can everybody find you on social media, pal?
Before I forget, go to madcatbeardcare.com. Support the fine folks over there at madcatbeardcare.com where you can get the blue spruce. Get some beard oil, get some beard balm. And if you're a cat person, you're doing a good deed for some cats. Josh over there at Mad Cat Beard Care takes in cats, takes them to the vet, all on his dime, helps them, nurse them back to health, and all the funds go to that. I don't draw a dime from, if you buy Blue Spruce, it doesn't go to Blue Meanie, it goes to helping those kitties. So if you want to be like Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys and help the kitties, go to madcatbeardcare.com. If you want to follow me on social media, across all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, which I do not know how to use yet. Go to @BlueMeanie, BWO. If you want to support Blue Meanie, directly go to ProWrestlingTees.com/BlueMeanie and get yourself a fine t-shirt. If you want to support the show, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/MindOfTheMeanie. Also go to collarandelbowbrand.com, use promo code Meanie, save 10%. And if you would like to support Mr. Adam Barnard,
Yes.
where can they go?
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate you. You can go to Twitter and Instagram @ThisIsGoober. Yes, it's my handle. Yes, it's a brand. I'm not changing it. I'm keeping it. You can go there and follow me for all the excitement. Hopefully, I will be verified. #VerifyGoober. Let's get it trending, friends. Also, you can go and check out my other program, Foundation Radio, by going to foundationradio.net and listening to all of my fun conversations there. I know Meanie will be joining me at some point coming up in the next couple of weeks for a fun one. You can also go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Foundation Radio and pick up a shirt and support the show. If you want to join us here, I know Meanie probably just said this, but I want to make sure I get it in again. Patreon.com/MindOfTheMeanie. You can join us every week as we record these, and you can see our beautiful faces as we record. Blue Meanie, it is always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much for your time today for the Blue Meanie. I'm Adam Barnard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip through the mind of the Meanie. Peace.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie was recorded and produced by Adam Barnard and was engineered by Carl Pannell. Additional production and narration provided by Sam Krebs. Our executive producers are Josh Chernoff, Adam Barnard, and the Blue Meanie. Our opening theme is performed by the Swamp Candles. Our closing theme is performed by Chikara. The show contains original music produced by Enrichment. Get additional bonus content by becoming our patron on Patreon at patreon.com/mindofthemeanie. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Mind of the Meanie. This has been a Butts Carlton media production in conjunction with the MLW Radio Network. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order.
Dad, why is Blue Meanie's brain out?
The world of MLW Radio never stops.